So, methods. Methods for what? Methods for, correct, obtaining audit evidence, right? The first and the foremost method is RAP. You know that? Risk assessment procedure. See, while doing the audit, as per SA, you want me to tell? You know very well. As per SA 315, you will assess the risk. Once you assess the risk as per SA 315, you will perform what? We perform RAP? No. After RAP, you will perform FAP. Further, correct, further audit procedure. Okay. FAP as per SA 330. This we have already covered in SA 315, 330. Why do you perform RAP? Just to recollect the points which we studied in 315. It's the procedure performed to identify and assess the ROMA. Okay. So now we have identified the risk. Then we will perform further audit procedure. Through the risk assessment procedure, you have identified the risk is more. Then your FAP will be also more. Through RAP, you identify risk is low. Then your FAP will be also low. So this RAP and FAP are related directly. Now, in FAP, recollect your SA 330. We perform two procedures, right? What are those? First, we will test the control. Test of controls. TOC. What we check here? We will check whether the controls are, whether the controls are there. If they're operating effectively. If operating effectively, whether it is operating for a day or a month or throughout the period. What did I say? I lost my flow, students. If the controls, whether the controls are there. If it is there, whether it is operating effectively. If it is operating effectively, whether it is operating effectively continuously. Tell me in English. Whether the controls are there. Existence, existence, whether they are operating, what? Operating effectively. If operating effectively, continuity or consistency of controls. So, through test of controls, this particular method, auditor will, what he will do? He will obtain audit evidence regarding, basically regarding effectiveness of dash dash. What? Effectiveness of internal controls in what? Recall SA 265, 315, etc. In detecting, three words, detecting, preventing, and correct, and correcting misstatements on a timely basis. Okay. Now, for doing test of controls, what auditor will do? Auditor will inquire the management. No. What he will inquire? He will inquire three things. how the controls are applied. How the controls are applied, how the controls in the organizations are applied. He will understand. Then, by whom they are applied. By whom? To what extent? To what extent they are applied? Not only that, he will also inquire whether at a particular point only, whether these controls are effective at a point, particular point, or throughout the period. He will inquire all those things. Now, here he will conducting general inquiry. Generally, he will inquire. After conducting the general inquiry, he finds that, he means auditor, he finds that some kind of deviations are there. In what? Deviations in internal control. Then he will, auditor will conduct specific inquiry. After general inquiry, you come to a conclusion that there are lots of deviation in controls. You will conduct specific inquiries as well as use the information obtained during previous audits. All these things were part of test of controls. Clear? You can recall all these things from essay 330. Once we have performed test of controls regarding internal controls, you will go to perform substantive procedures. In substantive procedure, what will you do? You basically do two procedures. One, you do the test of details. We'll put a pet name, no? TOD, TOC, TOD. In TOD, what auditor will check? He will mainly check the transactions and balances. Transactions, assertions, balances, assertions, he will check. Come on. Transactions means P&L account item, revenue and expenses. Recall essay 315. Assertions we have studied. AOCCC. Accuracy, occurrence, completeness, classification, cutoff. Balances 6 assertions. Existence, ownership, rights and obligation, valuation, presentation, disclosure, completeness. All these things he will check through TOD. Finally, in the winding up stage, you will perform substantive analytical procedure. You want a pet name here? SAP. Substantive analytical procedure. Essay 520. Any questions? You know what? Why did I say the substantive analytical procedure? I should have just told as analytical, no? See, students, in the technique we studied analytical procedure. Broadly, the analytical procedure can be performed in any stage. In risk assessment procedure, you can analyze. Test of controls also you can analyze. Substantive. So while doing substantive procedure, when you do analytical procedure, it is called as substantive analytical procedure. I hope that was clear. So totally, how many methods are there? 1. Risk assessment procedure. 2. Test of control. 3. Test of detail. 4. Substantive analytical procedure.